We are back. We are back. We are back at it again. Let's go. Man, I've been missing out. I've been working hard. I've been trying to get this money. I kind of been investing in myself, you know. Let me go ahead and get into the aspect of investing in yourself. Because, we already always talk about the investments as far as monetary money, investing in stocks, investing in your life insurance, just, but let's go about yourself. For one, let's start off. You want to get to the point of reading. Reading is one of the big keys investing in yourself. Reading, getting information. A lot of people, when you're investing in yourself, you got to do your homework. You got to do the research. You got to read. Read. Shout out to Gold Professor. You know, Wednesday read. Gold Professor has a Wednesday read where every Wednesday he will read an article, read from a book, read from the paper, even read what's going on a news channel or blog on social media. Fifi, what's going on? And that was one of the biggest topics. You know, any day he would always say, you can almost about miss any day, but Wednesday read is the focus on knowledge. Jigs going on. And that focus on knowledge, that's 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 the information that gives you, that growth. And when you're doing the growth, you're investing in yourself. So a lot of people, tend to not read. They look at videos, that's still getting the information, but likeliness dust off a book every now and then, a magazine, and get to the point of retaining that knowledge. Like I say, by the videos or whatever, as long as you're in the point or a situation of learning, and that's the key. So once again, read, read, read. All right. Two is your connections with friends. You're going to be pretty much put in a box. Um, who was it? Will Smith. He was talking to someone, and you know, he was like, he is probably the least of his five friends that he come around. Cool Gamer, what's going on? And that says a whole lot, considering that Will Smith is this big, movie star, uh, retired rap artist. But for the most part, Will Smith has a lot of things together. I'm quite sure he produced the Fresh Prince. He was a co-producer in the Fresh Prince. So you know this guy wore a lot of hats, and for him to hang around his friends, and he is the least out of five. So he's not even number four, number three. He's number five out of five people. He's not number one out of all the money he makes. So your friendships count. You know, according to a lot of people, don't believe it or not. Um, I forgot the name of this guy, but he would always say, "You show me your five friends, and I'll show you where you're going in life." And pretty much it's determined. Your five friends show, are you going up or are you going down or are you going to stay mediocre? It's all depending on your, influence, your inspiration. People motivate people. You know, friends help people. They have an old saying: friends don't let friends drive drunk. And they say that for a reason, because friends help and motivate each other. You know, it gets to a point to where if I'm in a situation, or, you know, my friend be there to help me out. If I'm in a point where of no return, my friend can bring me back. That's the whole, point of having good friendships and people around you. Not only that, in business, I seen this video the other day. Bunny Rose, what's going on with you? Y'all go check Bunny Rose out with them nice tunes, and you know, liven up your day. But pretty much I was watching this video, and this lady, she was a nurse, and I should share this. It was on YouTube, so I'll find it and share it. Or I might have to screen record it and share it. But the point of reference is she was a nurse, was at brunch or whatever, lunch with one of her friends, and this guy, he was so obnoxious. He was just yelling at the waitress. He ordered some chicken Alfredo or something. He was like, "Where's the chicken? Where is the chicken?" And so the lady sitting across from her friend, she like, "Let it go." And when the guy started just running down all these, how does it take to do this, to be a waitress, and she jumps up, says, "Hi, how you doing? I'm the manager." Because he asked, he said, "Go get your manager." She jumps up, "Well, I'm the manager. How can I help you? What's going on?" It's like, "Why you're in scrubs?" She's like, "I'm moonlighting. You know, I'm doing both. This is my business. I'm running it. What's your problem?" It's like, "There's no chicken in here." It's like, "Hold on. You're a businessman. Okay, it looks like you're in a business meeting." And she turns and looks at the guy and be like, are you going to be doing business with a guy that talks to people and degrade people like that?" He's like, "Yeah, I really don't like him talking to her like that. My daughter's a waitress." He's like, "Oh, so you would like this happen to your daughter?" He's like, "Nah, not really." It's like, "Oh, so you would do business with a person that talks like this?" Um, I wasn't intending to. So she looks back to the man, tells him to apologize. He apologizes to the man he's doing business with. The woman's, "No, you apologize to the waitress." She goes, he looks at her like, "What?" It's like, "You apologize to the waitress. You offended her, not him. You got to get his approval for business." So he apologized to the lady, and the lady turns around and said, "Hey, now go get him extra chicken, whatever you got to do, so he can de-escalate this situation." She goes and sit back. Don't even know the people. Like I said, just was something that she did because being that type of person. Now, looking at the situation where that guy was going off on the woman, this guy had no intentions on doing business with him, and she just brought it to the light in front of him and made him feel foolish. And that's the thing. You have situations like that to the point where, you know, friendships, people that you come in contact in and doing business with, relations are the biggest influence in a lot of people's life. I have a coach right now, a couple of coaches I talked to. I just talked to him yesterday. I'm actually going to be dealing with one later on this afternoon because I coach wrestling. So I tend to go up there and get back to the kids. And my coaches talk me out of a lot of situations, help me with a lot of things. They influence me heavily. Even me being a 41-year-old man, I'm still being influenced by these guys because, you know, when I was younger and I was wrestling in high school, my coach always told me wrestling is a brotherhood. Once you leave this sport, you'll always come back to it because it's a brotherhood. And he meant it. Anywhere I go, I tell somebody I wrestle, they have that common bond. We have a common bond amongst each other. The struggles of doing practice and, trying to win as a team and as an individual. What's going on, Miss T? So basically, when it comes to that, that's pretty much your communications. Let's run it back down again. For one, reading your influence, that builds you. That's how you invest in yourself. Reading, looking at videos, gathering some type of information. That's the investing in you. Your friends, like I said, you show me 5 of your friends, and I show you where you're going in life. When it comes down to it, a lot of people are motivated by their friends. A lot of people are inspired by their friends and to do great things. You can be inspired by your friends to be criminals. If you never robbed or did anything in your life and all you hang around are murderers, robbers, and killers, guess where your direction in life is going? Unless you be the one that break the cycle of all those friends that are doing that and look at you and they want to move and motivate just like you. Out of my closest friends, I was the first one to get married. you know. And a lot of my other friends look to the point where they wanted to get married, because they seen it as a beautiful thing. Having kids, a beautiful thing. You know, it all depends on the mindset and the people around you. And like I said, your relations with, far as business and socializing. You have people you come in contact with, even on YouTube, that can inspire you greatness. They're not just a close friend, but they're someone you deem to be, you know, great and give information. These are the people online that can help and motivate you to get your channel off the ground, or to line to motivate you to, do better for your life. Now, with all those things, we're going into number 4, pretty much travel. Traveling helps you in so many ways. As far as the mindset, seeing things, it motivates you to either make more money, deal with processes better, because you're processing all this great information. You know, People who are into history, traveling is a big thing for them. You know, you get to touch the grounds of, you know, where slaves were buried or where slaves were brought. You get to touch the grounds where Indians, you know, pretty much reign supreme over. You get to be motivated by these skyscrapers in certain areas, going walking across the Great Wall of China, walking on the lands of Africa, you know, even going to the Netherlands, Ireland, to Australia, whatever floats your boat. Some people might want to just go see kangaroos in Australia. That's the thing, to see a kangaroo in their natural habitat. You know, Going to a zoo is okay, but to actually see in a safari, like, that's something crazy. It's amazing. People want to know about history. People love dealing with animals. Traveling gets them that connection that they're yearning for, and it also motivates them to do more for their life. Sorry about that. I'm behind on the comments. Everybody checking in. Cool Gamer, what's going on, everybody? So when it comes down to it, a lot of times you're motivating yourself. That's when you're investing in yourself. You're getting everything if possible to, be a better you. And like I said, it's just me even having this conversation might even have you to think about, what are the things I need to do to motivate myself. You know, Starting off by eating right, you know, doing some form of exercise, even if it's just walking to the mailbox 10 times, you know, even if I'm just in the house walking in place, taking a chair, doing some squats, grabbing a chair, squatting down, you know, lifting one leg up at a time, turn the chair around, get behind it, and just do your leg lifts. Lift one leg up at a time. Hold it for a couple of seconds, drop it down. You know, do a squat. Hopefully, you got them knees to where you can squat and come back up. But if not, sit down, take it slow. You know, Most chairs have little arms on there. You can put your foot at the bottom of the chair, prop it up, get those knees working, kind of lube to where you ready to squat, you can be okay with it. Same thing with your arms, stretching. A lot of people don't know the basics, and a lot of times with calisthenics. Sheila, what's going on with you? Boss lady Denise done stepped in here. Wellness with Frugal Mama. Boss lady, what's going on? Sheila E. Shout out to everybody coming in the chat. But, you know, a lot of times we look at just exercising as being such a dread. I have to go to the gym. Doing things around your house is just as simple. Prime example, even though this guy has a bad light on him right now, Jared, the guy who did the whole Subway challenge. He lost all that weight doing Subway. Even though the whole thing that came out with him nowadays is kind of weird and wild, but for the most part, just him walking and getting a sub every day, gave him a little motivation to lose the weight. You end up finding something that motivates you. And like I said, the exercising is one thing, eating right. You know, a lot of times you might go on a cleanse. Cleansing your body is key. You know, looking up things. Instagram to me has a lot of information that pops out with you regarding just a plethora of information just throwing out there. YouTube is more personalized by the videos you watch. You know, you kind of say, well, why am I watching this? Or how did this get in my content? Those videos are most of the time referred to you either by YouTube trying to get you into something or by your search engine. The things that you search, those are being recommended to you by the things that you look up, you know. And a lot of times the people you're a sub to, you know, I have another channel where I actually started for my wrestlers to upload their videos. And Sweet Thumb, what's going on with you? And I would see so many kiddie videos. I would see, you know, so many things of, you know, projects inspiring. You know, I don't see the most gender war conversations. I don't see a lot of that, you know, and it's just crazy. I mean, even to the point, sidebar, um, my kids, I sit down and watch some of the videos with them. I'm seeing like content not for kids. I'm seeing um, pretty much pronoun breakdown to the point the he, she, we, whatever, you know. I'm seeing gender war where women are talking, like the little girls are talking to the boys crazy, and the little boys are talking to the girls crazy. Same thing with the adults. And I'm asking my son, I'm like, do you get this all the time? He said, yeah, I just skipped the video. But I'm like, these are the videos, you know, popping up with these young kids now. They're being motivated by a lot of this stuff. So that's what I was saying. You got to invest in yourself and invest in your kids. Tend to watch them over time. You know, I had a meeting yesterday. That's why I was so heavy online. I had a meeting yesterday with one of my kids' school to discuss some things about his grades and everything. You know, and I'm pretty much a big active parent. You know, I want my kids to succeed at all costs. That's why I spend so much money dealing with their tutoring, outside, you know, activities. You know, they're getting into sports now because they're in middle school. I can actually put them in school sports versus doing anything outside, but just to motivate them to stay active and doing things, you know, and that's the biggest key. But overall, they can't get nowhere without their grades. I won't they're actually on punishment now because their grades went up to par. So I took them out of karate for 1 month. And I told them if the grades don't go up, you don't go back into karate. And I have my twin boys, when it comes down to it, if one does better, the other one doesn't, then one has to go to karate and the other one don't. He get to go see his brother, you know, do karate and so forth. You know, I'm real stern when it comes to the grades because that's going to be the thing that they're going to need to succeed in life. I'm not going to always be there to hold their hands. So I have to invest in their future if they're not investing now. You know, when they get to a certain age, that's when they can invest. Malika, what's going on? Oh, didn't go through. All right, there you go. What's going on with you? So I'm investing now into buying books, motivating them. You know, one of my sons, I always talk about him being bad at math. I bought him a math book that one of my friends referred me, and her daughter makes straight A's. You know, he doesn't take the time to sit down and go through the book. I have to sit there and make him watch him while he's doing it. Otherwise, he won't do it. So that's the things that kids do. You know, even with him being almost a teenager, he still has a mindset of not going through these things. So me having to motivate him and you know just inspire him like, hey, you do this, I'll buy you this, or you do this, this goes with that. You know, because our generation of parenting that we got might not be good for this generation. Some of the things are, some of the things are not. So you have to, you know, deal with your kids and you know some of us with grandkids to find out, you know, what can help them succeed and go to the next level and inspire and then, inspire them that way, and also invest in their future. You know, real quick, we're gonna go over the money part. We pretty much know it's when it comes down to it, far as money, it's like no content. I mean, no content. It's like you already know what I talk about over here, so it's not something that pretty much is different. So let's get into it. Far as the money wise, we already know about investing in stocks. You know, I don't know anything about stocks far as the greatest thing to invest in. I just invest what I feel. You know, if I'm a person that buys a lot of stock far as the let's say Nike. I buy a lot of Nike. Far as me investing in Nike, I buy a lot of Nikes. So if I'm buying a lot of Nikes, why not go ahead and invest in Nike? If I buy a lot of, let's say, Toyotas, I buy a lot of Toyotas. Why not invest in Toyota? You know, something that you occasionally buy a lot of, you invest in that. Prime example, that gives you your return. When you invest in this stuff, always do your research. 10 times out of 10, why would you want to invest in, some new company that just popped up and you don't know anything about them? Someone just says, yeah, this company is the best. Investing in it, why? You know, do your research. Figure out why you want to invest in these companies. Same thing I was talking about earlier about investing in yourself, doing research. That's one of the things that you can research. You know, um, point of reference. If I was to invest in Goodyear tires, oh, let's go back to Firestone. Firestone tires. Back in the day, Firestone's tires were just blowing left and right. Those and Bridgestone. I think it was Bridgestone, not Firestone. One of them, Bridgestone, but they had a major issue with the tires just exploding, and in that return, left their stock down low to the point where a lot of people pretty much wasn't buying those tires. You know, it might be a good point to invest in them now, you know, because the company is actually, growing. They fixed that problem. Same thing with the Boeing issues now with some of the planes that they're having. Boeing stock is dropping low. This might be a good time to invest into it. Now, by all means, I'm not giving you all this to say, well, take my advice, invest it. That's what I always tell people. You invest, you read, you do the information for yourself. Research, research, research. Getting information, finding the knowledge, seeing what fits, and work with it. A lot of people tend to just take people advice anytime they tell them something. Yeah, I'm just gonna go whatever they say. I'm gonna do whatever they say, not doing the research on it. Oh, there's the best person right here to take your stock advice to that, kind of helps you motivate and, pick the same as what I'm telling you. Just Lisa J, what's going on? And a lot of times, everything's kind of built up off emotions. You know, I have a friend who invests in um options. The biggest thing with him in investing in options, he always say, pretty much it's your feelings. A lot of times people who are savvy investors, they try to limit themselves, being an emotional buyer or emotional seller, because when it comes down to it, your feelings pretty much determine, you know, how you're gonna invest. If you feeling good that day, you know, you're not trying to take too much of a risk. You're trying to, you know, see what's the best and the alternative that can, make you your money. Not trying to go out here and be like, man, um, I want to take all this money and I want to, be the best at this and I want to do this. And no, you're motivated, but at the same time you're cautious. You're not hungry for the money, so you're not just out here saying, man, I need this win. I'm gonna take $1,000 because this guy said this thing gonna work, and I'm just motivated to, when I come around, man, I'm just gonna be like top tier, man. This thing is paying off. My friend did it twice. He invested in this one small stock, and he invested in twice and made $3,000 out of only just $100. It was tenfold. Yeah. Now, you going into that same situation, how are you going to invest? Exactly. Invest not with your heart. That's the thing, and like I say, do your research. Do your research. Flawless in the house, Dr. Mark. How you doing? How you living? What's going on with you, man? I've been missing a couple of your videos, man. I've been bouncing around, moving around, and been getting a lot of calls lately, so I haven't been pulling up my YouTube a lot. But yeah, man, I'm gonna get back on it. I'm gonna get back on it because the content is always good. The content is always good. But for the motivation though, you don't want to just invest that way. And then going into another form. Shout out to Alonzo, the all-star advisor. When you're trying to invest into your life insurance or just different annuities or things of that nature, you want to look at some things that can be the big determining factor in all that. And pretty much looking into it, if you're going to invest into life insurance and, you know, what's your best alternative, you know, talk to a licensed, agent. Don't sit here and just say, well, I'm just going to try this on a whim. Like, even if you're researching yourself, that's the biggest thing. Even though me and Lonzo, you know, we're cool, have an understanding, like I said, I'm going to actually meet this guy in person, but me buying policies from him and stuff, it just wasn't on a whim of me saying that I'm just going to do this because I've looked at all his videos for the most part when I first met him and knew his intention was and knew what my intention was. I'm researching. I bought several policies before so that I know what I pretty much wanted to invest in and pretty much was seeing my whole outcome of what I wanted and what did I want to structure these policies to do. So when it came down to it, it was easy for me to make that decision to say, well, I'm gonna get this policy, I'm gonna invest this way, I'm gonna buy this and I'm gonna do that. So it was so easy for me to make that decision. And a lot of times when we had a conversation, just pretty much overall researching and looking, that's what a lot of people don't take the necessary time to do. And that's why they have a lot of hiccups and problems overall because they're not just taking the necessary time and just looking this stuff up. I have to grab my phone back in a minute. Come on, thing. One moment. Yeah, sorry about that. Let me go ahead and hit back into the chat. But like I said, overall, dealing with anybody, Leo's family garden, what's going on with you? With dealing, I mean, just pretty much in general, anything you invest in, anything you want to deal with, just do your research. Think about it before you actually just take that leap. That's the biggest thing where a lot of people just jump out there. Like I said, you have a friend that's been invested in a stock for 3 months and he's making heavy returns. It might not be your month. You invest, excuse me. It might don't be your money. You will sit here and lose all your money. And what is the friend gonna say? Hey, there's risk involved in this. It's not for everybody. And that's when it comes down to, it's literally not for everybody. Everybody's not going to make, big investments. Everybody's not going to make big returns. So that's why you not investing with your heart and just saying, ah man, scarcity mentality where you got to make the money. Those are typically the worst because you're counting on this, and if it don't go through, you're going to be in major trouble. So, just taking the time, like I said, doing a little research, knowing what you're, investing in, knowing your overall turnaround to where if I invest in this, what am I gaining? What is going to be my benefit? A lot of times people are not motivated. So they're just out here just trying to make money, trying to, get as much as they can get. And, this whole system of trying to calculate, there's no real big system in this. People say they know the cheat code. You have all these people that are selling courses and classes on this stuff. You know, there's a system in, conducting business, there's a system in handling business, there's a system in processing things. But when it comes to the market, it's volatile. It goes up and down, up and down. And people have motivating factors that they say that can help them overall, but it's not consistent. And that's literally the biggest thing with a lot of people with these motivating factors of not being consistent in this market, you know. And so that are just like pretty much the key thing. Yeah, that's like typically the biggest thing. Everybody wants the fast money. Shout out to JG Wentworth. It's my money and I want it now. And that's the thing. A lot of people are motivated off of, the quick wins. Oh man, I heard this guy, he made $10,000 off this. Oh man, I'm trying to make $10,000. It doesn't work like that all the time. It's steady wins the race. A lot of people motivated to try to push themselves to the next level, try to be better and try to be greater than all. Hey, by all means, like I said, this isn't something that you're gonna, just get a return off quick. You know, yeah. I mean, when it comes down to it, you can win the money fast and also lose it quick. Being motivated to invest in the market, there's risk involved. A lot of people they tell you rewards, but they don't tell you the risk. Um, I had a family member that was vested into the stock. They actually was up 70,000 in options. They put something in, I don't know if it was a call or a put, but for they lost big because they didn't pull it. They didn't pull the contract. And you know, you're looking people telling you and teaching you these things. It's bits and pieces of information because no one really tries to tell the full thing because then you'll have to be accountable for some of these things when you start actually giving the full research or the full information on how things are and how things run and how things need to be motivated and ran. So you kind of give people pieces of information and hoping that hey, if they mess up, it don't come back on me. And that's the key like that to motivating with most people that, hey, they just need help. And when it comes down to it, a lot of people who are motivated in this, you know, they've done their research. They know not to invest heavy in the market. They know the risk and reward. But the ones that don't, hey, they just go off of instinct the way other people feel, you know. And also when it comes down to it, what is going to be your motivating factor in pretty much benefiting, a lot of this stuff. You know, what you doing it for the win? You're doing it for money. You're doing it for the privilege of gloating and showing your friends how much money. Like, what is your motivating factor in investing? A lot of people just doing it because of what the money. Now, if you're doing it because of the money, what is going to be your biggest outcome or what? Enough with the stock and all that. But I mean, it's just with everything. Even with me doing my life insurance, that's when I actually heard of the IUL, and I went to an investment seminar, and they was talking about investing with life insurance. I ran the course, talked to the guy. He motivated me to actually look than just whole life. He's like, well, it's more than just whole life in term, because that's all I knew. So once I started taking the time and researching and knowing, like, you thinking about IUL as being the thing, they have so many investments for people who make millions to invest in. Their returns is almost like like damn near a million a year. You know, damn near a million. I'm talking about at least 2,500 to a half a million returns in 1 year. But you got to look at how much money you got to invest, and you're investing this money up front. Someone comes in with 25 million or 10 million, investing it up front. Prime example. The guy I bought one of my insurance policies from, that I had did the investment course with, he had a football player that was getting an endorsement check for $180,000 a month. $180,000 endorsement check to endorse a product or something, and they were making money off of him endorsing. The guy was like, man, I don't need this money. Like, I don't even want to see the check no more. He's like, could you do something for me? Or, what is my overall that I can do with this money? He set him up with a million some dollar policy. Got it set for 20 years because he said that'll be equivalent to the time when you're probably going to retire if you don't get an injury or something like that. And you're going to make the return you make a turn on this money. Same thing with Allen Iverson, spilling all that money, going crazy. Yeah, I think it was like his coach or somebody was telling him to invest in something to where take a bunch of money, put it to the side over here, and when you turn 50, it's going to roll over and it's going to start paying you every month. He was liking that, but you know, being young and not informed, you thinking like, man, this is a scam. Why am I gonna give somebody, you know, $5 or $10 million to later on in life I get 50, or later on in life I get 100? You know, how I know this person's gonna do me right? How I know this is even a thing? And that's the point. You're taking advice of someone without even looking it up. We have well, not us, but most of the celebrities and most of the actors and stuff like that, they have financial advisors. Those advisors only work off the money that you're paying them and what you're paying them to do. Prime example, there's someone in the YouTube space. He actually sold his house, and shout out to Alonzo. He told a guy, instead of him having to pay capital gain tax on that money from selling the house, because he sold it for probably just about double that he bought it for, when it came down to it, the guy was like, I don't want to have to pay all this taxes to the government. He was like, yeah. So we'll take the money, put it in annuity, and you don't have to pay the taxes on it. And you can just touch the money over a course of so many years. And if need be, you can tap into that life insurance or whatever you have that annuity or put it in, and you can take a loan from it if need be. And the guy was like, he didn't need the money right away. So hey, that was another form. That's what I say about being informed. And when he came and talked to his agent who works and does his investments, he was like, hey, why you didn't tell me to do that? You know? And the guy told him, you paid for me to do your taxes or something and not to be a financial advisor. So even though these people will have the information, they will not give it to you because you don't pay them for that. You know, if I'm paying somebody for life insurance information, they're not gonna give me other information that suits my life and help me unless it's beneficial for them. Now, you have people like, shout out to Alonzo, being generous enough to give that guy that information, you know, and the guy turns around and takes the money and buys a policy through him. So that's a win-win for him. He was just basically he already had a policy with the guy, and he was already working, trying to help him out with some other things. So that just motivated him to even deal with him even more. You know. So like I said, you got that. Even with investing in homes, do your research. A lot of times, people just want to get the money, put it somewhere, and get a big return. Um, prime example, I know a guy that's one of my friends, and um, dang, I'm talking and not even having the thing on. But the thing of it is, when it comes down to it, appreciate the love. Yeah, man. Sorry, I had to cough and I didn't want to be all on my excuse me. But the thing of investing in houses, which a lot of people, just don't even really do the numbers, is learning the process. Investing in a house. Are you gonna burn method? Are you gonna just rehab and sell? Are you gonna rehab and hold? Are you gonna just buy to, whole properties. You know, if that's the case, why don't you buy apartments versus single family homes? What are your options? A lot of people are not doing the research on a lot of this stuff. So that's the main thing that's harming them. A lot of people are not, taking the next step into getting the information. If I'm going to be investing in homes, and it goes right back to investing in yourself. What was the first thing I talked about at the beginning of this video? Investing in yourself. Reading, 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 and getting the information. A lot of people have a bad learning curve because they don't take the necessary steps into learning and motivating themselves to do better. So if you're not taking the necessary steps and learning and motivating yourself to do better, you're behind the eight ball. You got some kid that's out there is, researching and learning this stuff. And at his young age, he's already in the process of being a guru. You got 19, 20 year olds that are making more than their parents, making more than most adults. You literally have um young kids, 14 years old, starting a company, dealing with their parents. You have young kids that are not surpassing their parents, but getting into buying stocks. I seen this young guy, he was 14 years old, and he would always want to buy Jordans. His mother told him, if you're going to buy Jordans with your allowance and things of that nature, take your money from buying Jordans, and every time you buy a pair of Jordans, buy some stocks with the other pair that you were going to buy. Now, motivation, buy 3 pair. One to hold, one to wear, and the other pair that you were going to buy, take that money and invest. And the reason I say buy 3 pair is because simply this. And this last pair is going to get you. The first one is the stock. If you take 150, take 150, 150 and invest into Nike. If the shares are high, let's say the Nike share is 200, do having a brain freeze right now. Not the dividend, what is it called when you don't buy the full stock? It's like partial. I'll go back to it. But basically you can buy partially into the stock. So if the stock is $200 and you only have 150, yeah, fractional. Thank you, Lisa. Fractional shares. Thank you. So you would buy a fractional share into that. So you have 150 and a fractional share of 200. Then you turn around, buy your other pair for 150 at Foot Locker, whatever you want to do, or you can invest in Foot Locker. It's up to you. The third pair, because shoes are such a hot commodity right now, buying that third pair, putting it in a sealed bag. I don't know how they store shoes. I'm not a sneaker fanatic, but the point of buying that third pair is just to hold. Like, there are shoes that are being bought now, and within 2 to 3 months are back on StockX or one of these famous sites that sell shoes, and they're actually being sold markups $300-400, $300-400. Um, Believe it or not, shoes like the Red October Nike on Yeezys. The Red Octobers are all red. Yeezys. Kanye's first deal with Nike, those shoes sold for $9,500. What is this? I think it's Pastor Gray out of Texas. He's like a real big pastor out there, just like TD Jakes. Pastor Gray bought a pair of Red October Nikes for $9,500 from StockX. So a pair of shoes that was way past bought out. Even with Jordan, Jordan is rebranding the color, like, of all his Jordans. He's coming out with these infused Jordans where you have Jordan 2s infused with Jordan 5s. You have Jordan 11s infused with Jordan 6 and stuff like that. So he's just recreating the wheel, and he's making all this money. Now, most people like the originals, but then they like the off-white branding that they have. And the biggest that I've seen so far in shoe collection is the Travis Scott shoes. I told my son I was gonna buy two pair for him because he's into shoes, and I was gonna buy him a pair of Travis Scotts. He likes the Alexander McQueen's, which is crazy to me. I'm not spending $1,200 on those shoes. Sorry, but I told him he can do it. Good luck on that, getting $1,200 from me. But needless to say, investing in the stock and investing in yourself. And like I said, if you're gonna collect shoes, buy an extra one, put it to the side. Prime example, I watch a YouTube Cars and Cribs. Cars and Cribs is a video on, I mean, a channel on YouTube where a guy does the gig apps, and he does a lot of deliveries, and something I'm pretty much in and I do myself. And he did a delivery to a guy that had Pokemon cards. So he delivered, what was it? I think to the sum of 10,000 Pokemon cards to this one guy. And the guy gave him a box for free and was motivating him to do some other the business that he had. He actually buys cars, fix them, and sell them. He goes to auction. He has his dealer license to go to auctions and buy cars. He um, sells the Pokemon cards. So what he do is he take the Pokemon cards. They have bundle packs for $100. A lot of time, he actually gave the guy on the show a bundle pack for 100. He told him keep it for a year. This is gonna be worth $400. I've seen this one channel. My son watches because he was heavy into Pokemon. This guy had a pack of Pokemons, the original box, still sealed, never opened up to the degree. He paid 25,000 for these Pokemon cards, and I think there was only 5 packs in there. It was a tin can, and then it had 5 packs in there. Each pack has 10 cards in there a piece, so it's a total of 50 cards. He paid 25,000 for 50 cards. And out of all those cards, I think he had I think 2 cards that were the most. One he had for 15,000, and another one he had for 1,200, I believe. And the one for 15, it was like some type of Charizard. Like, this is like one of the most valued cards that everybody collect is the Charizard. So just making money off of Pokemon cards. I still have my son Pokemon collection. Um, from when they were little, and I actually gave them to them when they got older because they was in the Pokemon. Their brother had a couple, and then when he outgrew them, I just transferred them over to him, and he searched them, found a couple of cards, traded a couple, went to some stores. But like I said, just different motivations, different strokes for different folks. But overall, like I said, just anything you do, research, research, research. You know, research far as investing and motivating yourself to invest, you know, research things to invest for you to invest and motivate yourself to be the best and be good at it. So overall, just gathering the information and just top notch working on it. Shout out to everybody that came through. This has been a little bit of Money Mondays because I didn't pop up on Monday. I actually was off and I didn't wasn't even on YouTube that much. I actually woke up, seen one video, went back to sleep, seen another video that afternoon about 12, and kind of just stayed off and just that was just chilling it for today. But overall, needless to say, shout out to everybody. Once again, you know what I like to say. We here and we are gone. Peace.